It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Bullhouse Brew Co. And it's a can of their Stouts Out Imperial Stout coming in at 10% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. Look at that, it looks fantastic. Without further ado, this is beer number 35 in probably their succession of brews. 10%, let's get it out into a glass, see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening, beer in the glass. Fuller's make some fantastic Imperial Stout, so I thought I would use their glass for this review. Always complements an Imperial Stout really well. This glass, we got a 2-finger tan coloured head. Jet black beer in the glass. There's a little bit, that might be my shirt, my bright orange, a bright red Gorgoroth t-shirt just shining through there on the glass. I think it is. Yeah, more or less jet black. Lovely head retention for a 10% ABV beer. Look at that head retention. Wonderful. And look as I rock the beer. I'll be able to do it more later on to show you, but look at the way the carbonation is chasing that head up the glass. Let's get the aroma. Cheers, everybody. Rich, malty, smoky, chocolatey. When I say smoky, I mean tobacco smoke. Pipe tobacco smoke. Let's nail it down a narrow alley. Pipe tobacco smoke. Smells wonderful. It really does. Caramel. There's a hoppy element to the beer as well, and that comes through as plum and fig and prune. Spicy kind of Christmas figs and prunes, and it smells great. I'm going to dive in. Cheers, everybody. Nice. As soon as I put the beer to my mouth and the beer hit my tongue, it was like an initial little kind of hiss, a little kind of fizz of carbonation that just reminds you it's a beer and it's not some kind of weird port that I'm talking about. Yeah, definitely beer. Little tingle of carbonation on the tongue, pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows, what a fantastic brew this is. Rich, velvety, chocolatey, creaky floorboard. Did you hear that then 5 seconds ago? It's not doing it again now. I'm creaky floorboard. Rich, velvety, chocolatey, some caramel in there, a little bit of sweet caramel. Roasted malt coming through, chocolate coffee caramel, pipe tobacco smoke, raisins, plums, prunes and figs. That is that hoppy flavour and aroma I was talking to you about earlier. It's really coming through in the flavour of the beer. So they probably dry hop this beer quite a lot to get that raisin, plum, prune, fig. If you were to dry hop a golden ale with, I mean, I don't even know what hops they put in the beer. Should we have a look? They don't mention the exact hops in the beer, but if say it's New World hops, if you use New World hops, this is what really interests me with malt. Malt does so much in a beer, and nobody really talks about it. Pardon me. The malt will colour your beer. The malt and the oats will give lacing to your beer. Look at it. The malt will do that. If you've got a fantastic, bold, big, lactosey, oaty, malty body, look at the carbonation chasing that head up the glass. Look at that beautiful lacing. That is a work of art of a beer there in the glass. But the malts will always also change the flavour of the hops. So if you have a very light straw coloured dry hopped pale ale, you will predominantly get grapefruit, orange peel, fleshy blood orange flavours. However, if you use them same hops to dry hop a stout, or an imperial stout in this case, you will get, because of the roasted flavours and the amount of flavour in roasted malt, you will get flavours of plum, fig and prune from exactly the same hop. And I think that's wonderful. I think that's absolutely wonderful that the malt really... I watch loads and loads, I read loads about beer. Everybody loves to talk about hops. Everybody loves to talk about hops, but malt is for me the unsung hero. It really is the unsung hero. Without the malt, your beer won't do that. And without the malt, you wouldn't have fantastic lacing. And without the roasted malt, your beer wouldn't be black. The malt has done so much for this beer. So much. All hail the malt. It's not a... I know what's going on. I know what you're thinking. You're probably ready to type now and type your comment. I know what you're thinking. Hops are sexy. They are. They are. But without the malt... Have you ever had a glass of hop... Put a load of hops in water? Not the same thing. Not the same thing. You need the malt. That lovely worty liquid that we call malt. Then of course the wort gets turned into alcohol. The wort is the sugary liquid that gets fermented out. What we call beer today. Right, I think I've talked about I'm not sure if I've discussed too much in terms of flavour on the beer. I've talked about the look of the beer an awful lot. Let's pull some flavour. I've talked about pipe tobacco smoke, and I've talked about the plum, the fig and the prune on the back end, which is very important. It's spicy and peppery and hoppy. Let's talk about the chocolate, the coffee and the caramel flavours that come from the roasted malt. They're also very important. So the beer is big and rich and thick on the mouthfeel. Loads of lactose and loads of oats. Give a big, rich, creamy mouthfeel. When you think of roasted malt being added to that fantastic kind of oaty, lactosey, when it all combines and comes together. The flavours, when you think of caramel, it's thick and gloopy. When you think of a big, thick coffee, if you bought an expensive coffee in one of those big green bannered shops, you know the ones. It's like looking up into the sky at night. You know the big chain of coffee shops. When you have, I like a latte in that big chain of coffee shops, and it's big and thick and creamy and lovely, and I just like it. You get coffee flavour in the beer. If that beer was thin, if it was a thin and watery mouthfeel, the beer wouldn't work. Same as that kind of sweet caramel flavour I was talking about. It just wouldn't work. And then you got dark chocolate. Again, dark chocolate, rich, bitter, creamy, great depth to it. You get the dark chocolate flavour in the beer. You also get that big, thick, creamy mouthfeel. So everything works. Everything's in harmony with one another. It's a lovely beer. The Imperial Stout is one of my favourite styles of beer. Let's read out on the label what they say about the beer. We wanted to brew a big stout with no roasted barley to avoid that burnt, bitter coffee characteristics. Oh, and there's me talking about coffee. Found in a lot of big stouts. Plenty of crystal, oats, wheat and lactose give this stout a well-rounded profile. Stouts out, Impy Stouts in, all kegs will be tapped. Brilliant. Bullhouse Brewing Company in Ireland. Fabulous beer. They actually we do the Stone Crow virtual pub. Before it was the Stone Crow, it was just called the virtual pub with this whole lockdown thing, and then we come up with the name the Stone Crow. But Bullhouse Brewing Company said to us very early on in this whole live feed thing we're doing at the moment, it's very successful, we're really pleased with it. But Bullhouse were one of the first breweries to say, can we send you a box of beer over to drink on your live feed? And I said, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I don't think I got round to the stouts out, so I've got round to it today, basically. For me, it's a 9 out of 10. A Stone the Crows, 9 out of 10. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.